Wolf pack, what is going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street. RotoStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves here with your Week 16 sit start Thursday night show, baby. Let's go. We've got a great Thursday night game, playoff implications for both the Saints and Rams. More importantly, it is your fantasy football playoffs, and we have to get it right. We got to get these sit starts in. And I know it's a little early. I know I usually go right up to kickoff. We got a holiday work thing. I can't wait to go hit and see some of my good friends from work. So ultimately, getting in here early. Would love to, though, help you out and answer as many questions as I get. So come on in, Wolfpack. As you're getting settled in, that thumbs up button, the hearts, the likes, the shares, all that stuff really does help us grow and get out to more people. We'll go through first my preview for tonight's game real quick. Then we'll hit all the news you need to be tracking as we head into Sunday. And then the last hour and a half, 45 minutes, just about 15 minutes to get through all that. And then it's going to be all your questions for nearly 2 hours. So come on in, Wolfpack. I'll get through all this as quick as I can because I know, more importantly, it is getting to those sit starts. But hopefully this can help inform some of those sit starts too. Starting with tonight's game, Saints +4 at Rams with an over-under of 46. I like the over a lot in this game, especially the Rams too. I'm picking the Rams even without the points here as 4-point favorites. I think they go in here at home and just take care of business. I don't think the Saints team is very good, and I do think that they can put up some points. It looked like Derek Carr was finally finding some footing last week. But given that the Rams are 8-5 against the spread this year, 4-3 at home, 5-4, I really like all the things that are trending right now. It seems like Cooper Kupp in particular is finally getting healthy, and that just adds such a dangerous dimension. Never mind the fact that Stafford is really starting to cook right now, even against the toughest of matchups. So give me the Rams over 46 points as well, because I think the Rams themselves will hit 40 points. Somewhere in that range right there. I know it's a pretty wide range, but they're certainly going to do their part. And I think the Saints can at least keep a little bit of a pace, again, with a playoff style implication here that the loser has a really tough shot to get in, but the winner will seriously improve their odds here. I am very, very excited for this game. In terms of some news related to this game, Olave is going to play. He was cleared earlier this week, and that's going to be a lot of questions I've gotten, at least in the DMs on Twitter right now, is should I play? Should I trust Chris Olave? And that is an interesting debate, and I do have a pretty firm answer there on should you trust Chris Olave tonight. And let's dive into that banner that I just got pulled up here. Should you trust Chris Olave? My answer is yes. I am +4 ECR on Chris Olave tonight, and here is why. In his last 7 games, the ones he made it through, 8 targets at minimum. He had 13, 9, 7, 14, 18, 15, 14, and 11 half PPR points across those last 8 games. Very, very solid. And when you look specifically at those last 4, he's got 3 touchdowns in his last 5 weeks, 14 half PPR points in 4 straight before getting hurt in week 14, rather, against the Panthers. He was on pace for yet another massive day. So given the way that he started to cook, especially again in those last 4 fully healthy games, 14, 18, 15, and 14 points in half PPR leagues. I mean, half of those were in the top 10, and all of them were in the top 20. So I think another similar outing here for Chris Olave is in store. The Rams are much more of a pass funnel than a run funnel. And like I said, I think they're going to put up their points. So the Saints will be playing comeback mode. Derek Carr off a 3-touchdown day last week, of course, without Chris Olave, and that makes sense. But it does seem like they're starting to huck it a bit better down the field, and I do think Olave will get his. So I am playing him tonight where I have him, again, wide receiver 16, +4 ECR. Let me know if you do have a Chris Olave question. One I got earlier was Olave versus Puka Nacua. Well, in that case, yeah, I'm never benching Puka. You guys know this. I'm the Puka stan of all Puka stans. But ultimately, most cases I am going to go Chris Olave. But let me know, of course, again, in the comments if you have a question on him. The other question I've been getting a bit is, can you trust Taysom Hill? Should you trust the guy that just came off of 1 point last week at your tight end position? Can you trust Taysom Hill? And this one does get a little trickier, but I will say I am also +3 ECR on him. I have him at tight end 11, a fringe tight end 1. I get it. Jamal Williams starting to get more active, more engaged here does hurt the ceiling of Taysom Hill. He only had 1 carry last week before the week before time he was out there last time, 13 carries. So it is really, really sketchy that Jamal Williams ate into Taysom's workload quite so much. But prior to that injury, 15, 22, 19, 3, 7, and 14 fantasy points. 4 out of 6 games, really, really solid. Top 5 tight end performances in 4 of those 6 games. And then, of course, a couple duds mixed in. That's the risk of Taysom Hill. But here's the thing is that tight end, like let's say it's Logan Thomas, for example. God forbid Tyler Higbee's on your radar right now. And you have Taysom Hill. You just got to go with the guy because the upside really is there. In that stretch, he had 9+ opportunities in 5 of 7 games. And yeah, tonight's a great matchup for tight ends too. I know it doesn't really matter, but third most points allowed to tight ends are the Rams. Again, I know that doesn't really apply to Taysom Hill here, but I just have a really hard time in a game where points, I think, are going to be important. I just think that there's a really good shot Taysom Hill could find that end zone tonight. So at tight end, again, tight end 11. So I'm not saying he's a must start by any means, but if you're in that fringe range of, again, like Logan Thomas or I mean, I'll give you guys a handful of who I just have him ahead of. I have him just ahead of Dallas Goedert, actually, which kind of sketches me out a little bit. Darren Waller, Pat Fryermuth, Hunter Henry. These are all guys that I like as streamers, but I think I'd go for the upside of Taysom Hill tonight, even with all the healthy weapons around him. We're going for the touchdowns here. You just got to get it down to the goal line, and I do think against the Rams, we get a Taysom Hill plunge in tonight. So should you trust him? Of course, that one depends more so. Chris Olave, yes, hands down, go for it. Taysom Hill, a little bit sketchier, but if you are in that tight end 11 to 15 range, why not go for the guy that we've seen get 20+ points multiple times already this season? That wraps up my preview for tonight, other than the fact that Tutu Atwell is back. So that does make Demarcus Robinson a little trickier to trust tonight. He's been a great streamer these last few weeks, 13 or more PPR points in 3 straight games with great route share. But I just caution and question how involved he's going to be with Tutu Atwell. That is Demarcus Robinson. So I don't think you can use either of those guys. Puka, Cooper Kupp, of course, in your lineups, as is Matthew Stafford. We'll transition now to our Week 16 news. As we always do say, we'll pack the thumbs up button. Really does help us get out to more people. About 10 more minutes, and I'll be right there to all of your questions. We've got about 30 of them or so in that mailbag. You love to see it. We do have a couple super chats. So you know what? I don't have my mod over here, and I do have to comment that on out. So 1 second, call in live to the show. I'm hoping my man Campanelli, I know we're going early tonight. I should have even confirmed it with him if he could mod tonight, but I am going to go to get it out there in hopes that Campanelli can help modulate this. But we do have some super chats that I always do like to make sure you guys get the preference here. Half PPR, Deontay Johnson. So this is Ted Nguyen asking, should I go Deontay Johnson, Parker Washington, or Wicks here? It must sit one of Zeke Jacobs. There's my man Campanelli. Great to see you, brother. Ty Chandler, Kelsey, Trey McBride. Okay, so who is Titty Trey? I don't know what you're going for there, Tian. Do dare all 3 running backs and sit Kelsey for Trey? Man, this is I'm not gonna lie, Tian, when not your bestly worded question here. Let's start with the wide receivers, though. I am gonna go Deontay Johnson. He's the one guy that really was helped out by having Mitch Trubisky. He really did seem to lock in on him, and 14+ PPR points in 3 straight games. What's it going to be with Mason Rudolph? It's tougher to know, but he has been getting open, Deontay Johnson, quite regularly when you talk about the wide open throws. If you look at fantasy points data, I think he's just the nice, safe play here. Wicks, it depends. We're going to talk about Jaden Reed and both Christian Watson also getting a limited practice in today. So that does change things up a little bit for Wicks and how much volume we can expect him to see. I do really like Parker Washington. I think he's a phenomenal stream. Tampa Bay's a great matchup. But also, is Trevor Lawrence playing? What's the situation there? So a lot of question marks to all these guys. I'd rather go with the one with the fewest question marks here. And I know Mason Rudolph is obviously a huge question mark in his own right, but Deontay Johnson is not. He's been getting open regularly. He has been playing really, really good ball. Cincinnati, nothing scary about that matchup there. And so, again, over these last 3 games in half PPR leagues, we have Deontay going for 11, 13, and 14. Not a huge ceiling, but top 24 in 3 straight weeks. I'm going to keep riding that train with Deontay there. I think it's the safest option now. You got to sit one of these guys, Zeke, Jacobs, Chandler, Kelsey, Trey McBride. So I still play Kelsey. It's your first-round guy. Ultimately, you have to get your studs in there. The Raiders, nothing scary about that defense. So I do get Kelsey in there. I do love Trey McBride, though, and I totally understand why you're questioning it, but not for Ty Chandler. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit Kelsey for Ty Chandler at this point. I would probably – I like Zeke the most. I'll tell you that much, 10. He's my favorite against the Broncos, giving up the most points to backs. 29 touches 2 weeks ago and another feature back PPR type of role last week, even though the final points weren't there. I think against the Broncos, a touchdown is very, very viable, very live. So then it comes down to Jacobs play or not. Right now, there's a betting man. Antonio Pierce says, yeah, he's probably going to be in. And if he's in, I have a really hard time sitting him given the way they were running him. Now, I understand, too, Ty Chandler also coming off a massive day of his own there. 23 fantasy points, 23 carries, 132 yards, 3 catches and 25 yards, and that touchdown. Almost had another receiving touchdown. So huge day, huge amount of volume going his way, but he does get Detroit the second fewest points allowed to running backs, whereas Kansas City has been a bit of a run funnel, especially as of late. So I do think Jacobs, who in his last healthy game, 21 points, running back 7, I'd rather have him out there against Kansas City myself. But obviously, again, Tian, we got to track that news. But I do think you're locking in Trey McBride, Kelsey, double tight ended up. Zeke is definitely locked, and then we follow the news there with Jacobs and Ty Chandler. And then Mass Football Guy also asking, do you trust ETN this week with a $2 super chat? Thank you guys so much for your support of the show, and this is the way you guys out there can cut the line. I'm going till 7. I got to get a hard stop there to get to this work party. So ultimately, just if you need to get an answer in, do consider tossing us this. It really does help us out so much, Wolfpack. But Mass Football Guy asking ETN, can you trust him this week? I have a hard time not trusting him. I know Tampa Bay, one of the better run Ds, but that's especially when they have Vita Vea in, and he's still questionable, still hasn't practiced yet this week. So I do think ETN is trustable. Yeah, I know he had that one stretch, 34, 22, 21, 24. You would never ask this question, right? But then, of course, 5, 7, then 11, 16, 15, kind of got back on track before 8 points last week. I still really like the guy. The track record's been there all year. It does start to get a little difficult if Trevor Lawrence is out. I don't want anything really related to a CJ Beathard attack here, but it does. We got to track that one. So if ETN has Trevor Lawrence at QB, I still love him. I think his offense will move the ball just fine against Tampa Bay, giving ETN plenty of scoring chances as a true feature back of 70% of snaps, 70% of the touches. No Dearness Johnson these days. I love Travis Etienne this week, assuming Trevor Lawrence is healthy. But Mass Football Guy will be tracking that one, and we'll know more on Sunday. Thank you guys so much for those super chats. Greatly, greatly appreciated. We're going to wrap through the rest of the news, but my man Campanelli will be checking for the rest of these super chats here. I'll be sure to pop on over and take a break from the news if we get any more of those. But a free way to help your guy out is, again, we got 40, 50 of you here right now. That thumbs up button, please do consider it, and we will get on to all your questions within the next 5 minutes or so. Quarterback news, CJ Stroud did not practice on Wednesday or Thursday, and he is likely to miss week. So I knocked the mic out there for 1 second. Thank you guys for your patience there. But definitely just lessens the appeal of obviously the Texans here with Case Keenum, but also the Browns too. Could have been a more of a shootout style game there with CJ Stroud. Definitely seems less likely that we're going to rely on a bunch of points there from your Browns on the other side of things. We got Case Keenum, as I said, starting that game, and he peppered Noah Brown last time, making him maybe a potential play, but Nico Collins, as we'll talk about shortly, will be returning as well. Trevor Lawrence is progressing well, according to Doug Peterson, but he did not practice Thursday. This does seem a little sketchy, so something you will have to track for sure. Will Levis has not practiced this week, and Tannehill is taking the first-team reps. Seems likely that he's going to be the starter here in Week 16 against the Seahawks, something to keep a note of for sure. Taylor Heineke will be starting against the Colts after Ritter's just disgusting start at Week 15 and really all season. It's a little bit better for the rest of your prospects there, but the Colts defense is no slouch. I think Heineke will get his handed to him this next week. And then Zach Wilson, unlikely to play against the Commanders, did not practice Thursday. And all honesty, against the Commanders, he might have been an intriguing stream. I would have felt a lot better about getting Garrett Wilson in my lineup. But we saw last week when Zach Wilson got knocked out. It's crazy that all ships rise with the Jets and Zach Wilson there. But ultimately, that is the case. They played much, much better this year with Zach Wilson. So with Trevor Siemian, I am much, much lower on both Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson this week. Let me know if you guys have sit starts on either of those guys. Kenny Pickett is not going to be playing this Saturday. It sounds like Mason Rudolph will be the one under center in a must-win game. It'll be interesting to see how this one goes for sure. Moving on to running backs, the Colts backfield is one of the more important storylines this week, and Jonathan Taylor is practicing in full. Now, he did come out and say on Thursday that today's practice will determine if I can play. No word since then how that went. I'm hoping it went well because Zach Moss did not practice, and it does seem like he is unlikely to play, despite saying earlier in the week he would. If he's out and Taylor's in, it's hard not to consider Taylor a top 8 running back this week, despite a tougher matchup against the Falcons here. Something to definitely monitor. But at minimum, guys like Trey Sermon, Goodson, those backup guys, no longer any interest in streaming any of them, assuming Taylor is in. Does sound less Josh Jacobs is on track to return. Antonio Pierce saying if I was a betting man, I'd bet on him being out there. And so he's right back in your top 20 running backs. Intriguing matchup here against the Chiefs, who are much easier to run against than pass against, especially as of late. James Cook returned to Thursday's practice fresh off his 30-point fantasy day, 179 yards and a touchdown last week, in addition to 42 yards, another score through the air, 221 total yards and 2 scores. He is clearly an RB1 this week. You are definitely using him that way tomorrow night, or Saturday night rather, against the Chargers. Ken Walker, fresh off seeing all the touches but 4 gets the tough matchup with the Eagles too, really coming through big for you. He did not practice on Wednesday, no word yet on Thursday, but it does seem like a maintenance day for the Seahawks stud, who does seem a lot easier to trust fresh off that massive workload as Charbonnet disappeared into the sun. Alexander Mattison not at the Vikings walkthrough on Thursday, did not practice at all on Thursday. So we did. Anyways, Kevin O'Connell did say we're kind of building the mindset that Ty's going to be a guy. We're going to get the ball a lot, both in the run and the pass. And if Alex is going, that's huge bonus for depth and making sure we have our full group of guys. That seems to me like saying our centerpiece is going to be Ty Chandler with or without Madison. So it doesn't really matter if Madison's in or out here. I think you can feel very, very good. Top 25 running back play here for Ty Chandler. Both Mostert and Achane not practicing on Wednesday, but seems like likely a rest day. We have not gotten their Thursday practice report, but neither of them seem overly risky to miss this week. Ramondre Stevenson not at practice Wednesday. Seems like yet another Zeke week. He's a top 15 running back for me in my rankings. Weird one, but Donta Foreman not practicing on Thursday. And first injury we've heard on him, but should he be out? That is huge news because Arizona giving up the most points to running backs. Roshan Johnson still out there in well over half of leagues right now. He could be an actually viable stream. I've seen Khalil Herbert dropped a lot as well. If Foreman misses, that really does create at worst a two-headed backfield against the best matchup you could ask for running backs. So I think both those guys should be interesting and definitely worth looking for and seeing if they're out there on your waiver wire. Moving forward there, we got Packers running back A.J. Dillon practicing Wednesday. Definitely lessens the appeal of Aaron Jones a little bit. We did see 75% carries this last week. Would be huge if he could get in there yet again. If Dillon's out, would love the matchup against Carolina as well. But if Dillon's in, it becomes an ugly, nibbling each other's cheese type of situation that I would love. Surprised to see Brian Robinson, who didn't practice on Wednesday, then returned to practice here on Thursday. It was a limited fashion, so it's not a guarantee he returns with this hamstring injury, but something to note because he was, for a long stretch of this year, a top 6 running back, even in PPR leagues. We've seen him have some huge days. So Brian Robinson, certainly something to monitor. The Jets are much more burnable on the run than they are the pass, giving up top 10 points to running backs. And last but not least, Chiefs running back Jerick McKinnon did not practice on Thursday. We've seen when he misses time, Pacheco ends up becoming the absolute featured back. Now, he's coming off an injury, so maybe CEH, who's had a couple decent days over the last few weeks, especially last week, very solid day. Maybe he worked in, but it was earlier that Jerick McKinnon was the sole pass catching work pretty much, and that Pacheco just inherited all of it because they trust him more in pass protection. We shall see if we have to deal with it. It's not till Monday night, but either way, McKinnon seems far less appetizing with Pacheco back anyways, and Pacheco really would be such a stud if he's in there. Now we're moving forward with wide receivers. No practice yet for Tyreek Hill, but we said there's no indication from Mike McDaniel whether that's left or right. We have to ensure that just resting him to get all cylinders going. So I expect him to be out there against a key matchup versus the Dallas Cowboys. They probably realized they didn't need him to beat the Jets, and clearly winning 30-0, they did not need him at all. But now they have this big matchup coming in. The number 1 seed is definitely up for grabs. The Niners are facing the Ravens this week, so they could conceivably move into first. The Dolphins, I think they're going to have a full weapons cabinet out there. Jamar Chase, definitely missing this week. He's already been ruled out, but could miss week 17 as well. Devastating for your fantasy playoffs to lose a stud like this. So definitely something to monitor as the fill-in here. Is Jake Browning nearly as appetizing as a streamer? Probably not without his guy, Jamar Chase, but still has T. Higgins, who now takes a big step up in the rankings without Jamar Chase. Pittman was limited on Wednesday and then full on Thursday, but still in concussion protocol. It does seem like he's definitely trending towards being in. And if he's in, how do you not use Michael Pittman as a top 6 wide receiver in fantasy points on the year, top 3 in target? I mean, the guy is just an animal. So obviously you're playing Michael Pittman. Should he be in, there is the risk of the A.J. Terrell shadow, which has been a real issue so far this year. But something just to monitor there is Michael Pittman. Keenan Allen has been ruled out for the week against the Bills. I think all your Chargers are starting to go down real hard at this point. Sucks for Austin Eckler as well that he's going to be playing amongst this midst of guys. And I thought last week, hey, now there's nowhere else the ball can go. So let's rack up a ton of volume here for Austin Eckler. Nope, didn't happen. 5.8. I don't think this benefits him at all. I don't think it benefits anybody at all. Do not have Keenan Allen. Maybe Josh Palmer gets a little bit of a bump up. He took about 5 spots ahead in the rankings, but still against a great Bills defense. I mean, the Raiders defense, you saw what they did against this Chargers offense. Never mind a good, ferocious Bills attack. If you have the Bills defense at fantasy, you should be licking your chops right now. Nico Collins did get back to practice. He said to reporters he plans to play. It will be with Case Keenum, so he's definitely not quite the number one lock him in no matter what type of play that you usually have come to expect from Nico Collins, but still somebody that is so talented. And Case Keenum clearly showed the ability to get the rock to at least Noah Brown last week. It's better veteran backup than most situations. So I'm probably trusting Nico Collins as a nice wide receiver too, ranked in that top 25 or so range. But if you have a Nico Collins question, he's not the slam dunk that he usually is. Jaden Reed and Christian Watson both get back to limited practices after not practicing on Wednesday. They are now back this week. It does not fully guarantee that they're going to play. In particular, Watson, I never want to trust and assume that he's going to be in there. But it does seem like there's a much better shot after they didn't practice that they could be in here this week. Devonta Smith not practicing on Thursday. Definitely a interesting thing to note, but I imagine it's just a day of rest here for him. Something that's really to track up and keep on your radar. Last couple of receiver notes here are that Chris Godwin was limited. He's coming off a huge day, 155 yards and 10 catches, and now he gets the Jags. So you got to hope he's out there. It seems like he is going to play, and he's now, for the first time this year, well inside my top 30 receivers, approaching top 20 status this week. Marquise Brown not practicing on Wednesday or Thursday. He only played 32% of the snaps last week before leaving. Even if he's active, how could you trust this guy at this point? Stinks. The playoff schedule was perfect. It was right for the plucking, but the injury, the heel, came at the wrong time. Odell Beckham did not practice on Thursday. He's only playing about half the snaps. Anyways, I still like the guy. Blow up the spot here against the 49ers. They're really going to need him out there, but definitely seems a little bit sketchier here moving forward. I was hoping to see the snaps go up, and we've only seen them hover right around 50%, even when he is fully ready to go. So I don't know what to expect this week. And Zay Jones, week to week, not practicing right now. Something to definitely monitor. Calvin Ridley should get all the work he can handle with no Christian Kirk, no Zay Jones. But I do think Parker Washington is definitely in streaming play. And really, honestly, Jamal Agnew, if you're desperate, he's definitely going to be out there in your leagues. Both these guys most likely are there. They are last week was Demarcus Robinson. That one kind of hit pretty well. Streamer of the week. I think Parker Washington will be getting those honors. So if you need a desperation wide receiver streamer, let me know, and I am happy to weigh in on that situation. Kadarius Toney not practicing on Thursday. Maybe he won't ruin the game for the Chiefs this week. Who knows? And last but not least, tight ends Pat Freiermuth practicing in full. He's in a beautiful spot here against Cincinnati, who he just smashed 2-3 weeks ago for over 20 fantasy points. They play the too high coverage that he just dominates, and tight ends in general kill. And I think Pat Freiermuth's in a great spot to do it again. Tight end Hunter Henry not practicing on Wednesday. But he did end up practicing limited on Thursday. Him and Bailey Zappi have crushed it. 3 touchdowns across their last 2 weeks, 12 targets, 10 catches, 106 yards in that span. Top 4 back-to-back weeks for Hunter Henry. If he's in, I absolutely love this spot for him and will be firing him up. So we shall see. And then that is it for news, guys. So that wraps up everything. It is now the rest of the time to your dear questions. If you want to cut the line, a super chat's the way to do it. But the free way is also that thumbs up button to help your boy out. We'll go in order now as we receive them. Thank you again so much for spending your Thursday night with me, despite this being at a different time. Over 55 of you here. Sometimes we even get up over 100. Never on Thursday. That'd be a new record. But the likes, the shares, the retweets, all that stuff really does help us grow so much. Thank you again for being here. Get all those questions in. Let's get to it. Sad Jay Cutler. I always love that name. Good to see you. Let me get a quick swig here and wet the whistle before answering all these questions. Standard league, start Puka or Olave, starting Stafford if that matters. Thank you. I would go Puka. I actually kind of kicked off this show, even in a standard league, but especially in a standard league. More touchdown upside to Puka than Olave, who does get more volume. Safer bet to get 8 receptions for Olave, but without those getting awarded to you, I got to go Puka. Plus, you got Stafford starting, which does matter. You stack those guys up and hope for the best there, Sad J Cutler. Tacos, burritos, quesadillas, or enchiladas. Ooh, need an 8-pound chicken burrito or veggie. No veggie for me. Definitely some meat in that burrito. I love burritos, but I also do love enchiladas when they're done right with a great amount of cheese there, Kana, all day. I love all Mexican food. Not going to lie. I would murder all of it. If I had to pick one of that list, I'd actually probably go tacos. I don't know. So good. They're all so good. I don't want to discriminate against delicious Mexican food. Now we got the fantasy questions. Flex 2 PPR, Pickens, McKinnon, Douglas, Wicks, Hudson. Oh, man, Grana. Justice Hill, and Chase Brown. Do I really have to pick 2 of these? Oh, my good God. I mean, I said I don't really like McKinnon at all this week, but among this cast, it's probably going to be him. Now, I mean, you got to hope maybe Mason Rudolph opens things up for Pickens a little bit here on Saturday. This is a really tough one to answer, though, because we don't know yet, like, Wicks, are those other 2 receivers going to be in? Because if not, he'd be the top play here. I think we maybe put one of these guys in that plays on Saturday, and that probably would be Pickens, and you go for the big play upside there. And then assuming that all the other receivers are out, Wicks is definitely the play. Assuming, if Christian Watson's there, I still really like Wicks because he plays such a different role than Jaden Reed. I think Watson's much more relevant to Wicks here. I do like Parker Washington if he's out there more than any of these guys, though, Krana Shaw. So let me know. McKinnon's got his narrative too. Checo back. I don't know that I love that. Chase Brown. Yeah. I'm going to say I'll go Pickens and Wicks for right now here, Krana, but definitely have some more information to figure out. We do have our first call-in of the night. One that I don't want to answer, but hello, Mr. Tunes. How are you, good sir?
You know why I'm calling. I told you I was calling.
Why would you ever call? You? That was a BS win, and you know it, too. Both my Ravens receivers combining for, 3 points? I need, 6 from them? Not even. I needed 4 points from them, and they combined for 3. It's pathetic. Pathetic win for my team. You got the win, though. I'll give it to you.
But the funny part is I played Drake London when you had told me to play Pickens or Douglas or anything else, and I just laughed, and Douglas would have scored more, I think, than both of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm pulling through now, Tunes. You knocked me out. I hope the guy that eliminated me goes all the way. This is in our Dynasty League for the Roto Street League. So cheers to you. I knew you were calling in. Do you have any fantasy questions I can help you out with tonight, sir? Not that I should be the one answering them. Clearly.
Nah, how do you feel about Puka tonight? Because I got Puka, and I'm going against Kyron, though, so.
Oh, I mean, I like Kyron a lot more than Puka. I'll tell you that much. I don't think you need a rocket scientist to tell you that one. Kyron is an absolute animal. So is Puka Nacua, though. Hopefully you get a Puka night. It's obviously not the best of matchups, a bottom 3 matchup for wide receivers, but they move them around so much. They find mismatches. Lattimore's now on IR as well, so he can certainly get there. As soon as you doubt Puka, he goes off and goes nuts. I actually, Tunes, what do you think of DJ Moore versus Puka? I have that question for my college league. That's my big one at this point.
Who Chicago got this week?
They got Arizona. Terrible defense. So I know. I'm probably going DJ Moore myself, but
I'm going Puka.
I love it.
I'm a Puka guy. He's my 4th round pick, but he's like probably one of my best receivers this year. But yes. I want to say with the Arizona defense, they're more susceptible to the run. And why wouldn't Fields just take off? He's got a week under his belt after the thumb healing up a bit. So
we'll see. I think absolutely Fields will take off. The running backs will run it down their throat, but it's also a top 10 matchup for wide receivers too. So we shall see.
If it's PPR, you got to go Puka though.
Yeah, we shall see. Well, Tunes, but best of luck to you tonight, man. Congrats on the W. I knew you'd call in. I deserve it. Cheers to you. Good luck the rest of the way. I hope you take it down. It's been a good turnaround for you at Dynasty. I like to watch it. Good stuff.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
You too. Cheers. All righty, then Crowder moving on. Hopefully, this is a little better here. Hawkinson, McBride, and Njoku. A lot of good options here. Jeez. I like all 3 of them. I think I go Hawkinson just because of the track record. But, man, McBride and Njoku are trending hotter right now. Crowder, can you get 2 of those guys in? Is this a double tight end situation? I do have them ranked right now. Hawkinson, then McBride, then Njoku. Exactly how you typed it. But I love all 3 of them. Njoku also has a great matchup against Houston this week. Very, very bad against tight ends. Bottom 5. So this is a really, really tough one. I do lean Hawkinson here, but it's not like a firm love it. And then pick 2 PPR, Waddle, Ridley, or Higgins. I would go, oh man, now we're so that first question was just like garbage. Now it's all good players. I do think I bench Ridley here just because I know he's guaranteed a ton of volume against the bad Tampa Bay secondary, but Carlton Davis is coming back, shadow corner, and I just really like Waddle and Higgins. It comes that Waddle's locked in at this point. Again, Ridley versus Higgins, that's tough. Right now, I'm leaning Higgins, but let's find out too. If Trevor Lawrence is trending the right way or not towards Sunday. Let me know, and we can kind of play that one out. Because if Trevor Lawrence is in, I might just go Ridley there. In that case, we did have a couple super chats come in, so let me make sure to let you guys cut the line as promised here. Kay Purnell, thank you so much for your support of the show. Pick 2, likely Beckham, Palmer, Downs, or Shaheed. I would go tough options here. I wish I could feel better about Beckham, but last week was spooky. The snap rate only going down and backwards scares me a little bit. I don't think I'm going Shaheed tonight, though. Maybe it helps that Olave's back and he draws a secondary coverage. I think in this case, I think I'm going Downs. The Falcons have been very, very good with their number one, Terrell, locking down number one receivers. But that's very much left them opened up on the slot. So I do like Downs there, and I think I like Palmer just given what we saw last week. It was the first-hand backhand from him on Thursday night last week, so I can totally see with no Keenan Allen. Maybe him and Easton Stick light it up again. He played over 80% of the snaps. So I'm leaning there rather than messing around with that 49ers matchup. As good as that game's going to be, as fun as that game's going to be, they just are so good against everything, especially not a wide receiver necessarily. If I felt better about Beckham, he'd probably be the shoe-in. To me, it's Downs, and then it comes down to Likely versus Palmer. Likely really has been playing some great ball. He kind of has that Mark Andrews role, and he's, dare I say, a little more athletic. He's not Mark Andrews in terms of reliability quite yet, but man, Likely has been just making play after play. 17 and 16 the last 2 weeks in half PPR leagues. I think I'm going to go Likely and Downs. Let's go Likely and Downs here, Purnell. Palmer's very close third there, but I'm going to go Likely and Downs. Lucius, thank you so much for the support. Swift, Rice, Henry, or Pacheco. Got to begrudgingly sit one of them. And I think I'm sitting Swift here. I mean, you can't sit Rice 95% of the routes last week, but 4 straight weeks now as a top 15 wide receiver. He's really come on. And then Henry, I know last week was scary, but Seattle, the best matchup for running backs across the last month. I think this is a nice explosion spot for Derrick Henry. Gets Tannehill back, which maybe stabilizes his value a little bit more. Then Pacheco, as long as he's in against the Raiders, a top 7 matchup right there. So I get Swift's in a really good spot. The Giants are definitely a good matchup, but they've been mixing in Gainwell a bit more as of late. And you look at his recent game logs, 9-3, 4-9. Yeah, the volume was there last week. 18 just didn't really get a whole ton with it. Jalen, the ultimate vulture, and Jalen Hurts with the tush push. I think Rice, Henry, and Pacheco all have multi-touchdown upside. And Swift, you're praying that somehow Jalen Hurts just gives him a chance to score one. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the guys that could just blow up. Swift is more so the nice floor, and really the floor hasn't been that high as of late. So I'm going to go benching Swift out of that one, Lucius. Thank you so much for the support. All righty, we are back to the regular scheduled program. Thank you guys, 60 of you here. Please, again, that thumbs up, the likes, the shares, the retweets, all that stuff is so greatly appreciated. If you like what you're hearing, of course, a lot of new names too. Please consider subscribing as we climb. We're getting close to that 4K goal, Wolfpack. Thank you so much. Kamara, Barkley, Etienne, HN, Zeke, Noah Brown, or JSN for the flex. We need 2 of these guys. I like Kamara for sure. And then I think honestly, it comes down to Etienne or Zeke for me. I might be leaning Zeke here depending on Trevor Lawrence's status. Krana. I think Zeke is just in a great spot to see 25-ish touches in the best matchup you can ask for running back. So I'm going to go Zeke and Kamara. Need a QB. Goff, Flacco, Mullins. You're going Goff here of these options for sure. Had Stroud. Stroud's not playing, so yeah, you're going Goff there. Minnesota secondary, division, big game. Yeah, ride him out. Go Goff. Bench Eckler for Chandler. It does look like another super chat came in, so Cron, you're going to have to wait on that one as you dump all your questions in here. Gus Alvera, thank you for your support. Gus, start Noah Brown, OBJ, Palmer, or Deontay Johnson. Another good one. I do lean Deontay here. Again, 3 straight top 24 weeks in half PPR. I don't know exactly what your settings are. I know Mason Rudolph, tough question mark, but the Bengals rather, already a pretty good matchup for secondary. Not a great secondary, and they just lost their top safety. So I do feel pretty good about Deontay Johnson here. Just seeing that volume. Noah Brown, if Nico Collins was out, now we'd have a question, but I worry that we can't really expect that type of volume. Maybe even Case Keenum, though, do have that nice connection like we kind of saw with Thielen and Keenum for a while. But it comes down to Browner or Johnson for me, and I do lean Deontay there, Gus. Best of luck. I hope you have a great time. Thank you for your support of the show. Bench Eckler for Chandler. Yes, I absolutely would, Krana. No doubt about it, which is so mind-numbing in its own right. Pick 2 PPR. Hopkins, Warren, Addison, Goddard, Deontay. Downs, if no Pittman. There is going to be a Pittman, it seems like, or Tucker Kraft. I would lean here. I have a tough time benching Addison after that huge blow-up game. Mullen just loved to chuck and give him a chance. And then I think in a full PPR, I'm going to go Hopkins as well. Whether it's Tannehill or Levis, I don't know if one's better than the other. The other one would be Deontay that I'm considering here, but I like Hopkins. That clear number one. He seems to be on like an every other blow-up week, so it's time for a blow-up. Last question, Jets or Eagles? I would probably here lean – I mean, they're both in great matchups. Eagles defense seems to be trending the wrong way, so I think I'm going to go – I'm going to go Eagles here. The Giants at home need to get the win. Best of spots. All your advice helped me get into many playoff leagues, so thank you. Remember to eat your rice Monday because he's about to go off. Absolutely, Krana. Indeed. And then we got a super chat coming in from Charlie Mullins fan 5. Pittman Jr. or Puka? So I do think Pittman plays, and in that case, I do have Pittman a spot higher than Puka. It is the risk. So, Charlie, what would be helpful to know is who's the next man up if Pittman does not play, if he surprisingly is ruled out, because he practices in full, but he still does have to clear concussion protocol. Seems like he's made all the right steps so far, so I'm not worried necessarily about him. And in case he plays, I mean, Pittman has just been so rock solid, as has Puka, but even more so Pittman has been such a steady source of volume that I have a hard time not going to him. You know, look at these numbers in terms of targets, 12, 13, 16, 11, and then had 5 in about a quarter of action last week against Pittsburgh. Hasn't been below 10 half PPR points since week 5. I can't bench that. As long as he's in and you feel good about him playing, I'm going to go Pittman. But I do have Puka literally just a spot right below him. So I wish I could get them both in there, Charlie. And if you're a little worried about the risk, then yeah, you could absolutely. It's so close that maybe you don't take on the risk. But I do think he plays, and I would ultimately rather have him. Mike Coyne says he needs some help. All right, Mike Coyne. Let's see. Taysom Hill or Darren Waller? I'd go Taysom Hill. I don't trust Darren Waller right now. Let's see him. I mean, I guess he kind of made it through a game last week, but played about 60% of the snaps. I'd go for the touchdown upside of Taysom Hill. I don't like either of them, but hey, let's go. Wishing you fellas an elite festive season. Hey, cheers to you too, Magic Mike. Never led me astray. I doubt that. I don't bat 100, but hey, I'm glad to hear that I mostly get them right for you, Magic Mike. Browns or Jets? D, I would go Jets here. I think they'll just eat up Sam Howell. And sit one PPR, Monty, Ayuk, or D. Adams. Take care, gents, and good luck. Good luck to you, too. This is a tough decision. Definitely not benching Ayuk. I know last week a little bit of a dud, but not benching him. And honestly, I don't think I'm benching Adams. I know the matchup versus Kansas City, not pretty. Monty's the trickiest one here. Great touchdown upset, but Minnesota's been very good against the run, and it seems like Jahmyr Gibbs is just continuing to evolve that role. I'm going to bench Monty here, in particular with that PPR settings. Wolfpack, Mr. Trey Saros, Cinco, 305 Pittman's in the house. Pitbull. Wolfpack. Oh, we do have a super chat, Mr. Trey Saros, Cinco. So sorry, but I got to let Gus cut the line again. Thank you, Gus. Double dipping with the super chats. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Start Zeke or Jay Taylor. Assuming Jay Taylor's in, it's got to be him, especially if Moss is out. If Moss plays, gets a little bit dicier here, Gus, because, I see the Zeke argument. 20-plus touches coming against the best matchup for running backs. I think we're getting a Zeke week like we saw against Pittsburgh on Thursday Night Football, which was the running back one in fantasy that week, 24 points in half PPR leagues. I still worry just about this overall offense. I'm a Pats fan, and it's hideous. It's terrible to watch. So I don't feel great about Zeke. But ultimately, 6, 8 targets these last 2 weeks, I feel okay. But I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor no matter what, assuming he's in and Downs, Zach Moss is out. I think it's a no-brainer. You can't bench it. It's too productive of a run scheme, and he was just starting to cook 21 points his last game out against a tough Tampa Bay defense, too. Atlanta's no slouch as a run D, but that is where I am leaning. Thank you so much, Gus, for your double support of the show tonight. Super chats coming in from all over. Much appreciated. Back to you, Mr. 305 Pitbull. Let's go. Semifinals, baby. Got one for you. I rolled the Stafford, yes, and over Mahomes. Stafford's playing tonight, which against that Saints defense. Who do you prefer this week? I do have Mahomes just a little higher than Stafford. He is hot, though, Stafford, right now. If you just want to ride that wave and keep going with it, I totally understand the team chemistry argument. I get all that. Saints, though, a tougher matchup here. I do think Mahomes just kind of goes in and dominates the Raiders this week. He had 21 points last game out against them, and that was his high for the last 8 weeks. He just always seems to go in and destroy the Raiders. So I like Mahomes at home. while they're really trying to get the season fully back on track, I think he's going to step up. So I go Mahomes there. So to start Puka or Achane at flex, then I'm going to go Puka here. Tough match against the Cowboys for Achane, inconsistent volume. It seems like he's almost become like a bleed out the clock guy. Now maybe they're just waiting to unleash him against the Cowboys, and the upside cannot be beat there. But Puka has just been so rock solid. I know the matchup's tough for him too against the Saints team, but no Lattimore. I think it's an overrated secondary. That face is trash, and so they're overinflated how good they are against wide receivers. So I'm going to go Puka there. Ben Madry, Kyle, Aaron Jones, Saquon, or Achane. You got to pick one. This is one where I do like Achane. I know I was just talking him down a little bit, but I don't trust Aaron Jones if A.J. Dillon's back. If A.J. Dillon's out, now that's a different story. Against Carolina, at 75% of the carries, Aaron Jones would probably be a top 15 running back, right? Saquon, I don't like against Philly. 4 points last week. He screwed me in my fantasy finals. Screw him. Don't want him. Maybe I'm projecting too much from emotion, but the Eagles are one of the toughest matchups for running backs, too. I think Achane is the explosive play here, and I like him this week much more than those other two, assuming, again, Dillon's back. Now, if he's not back, then maybe we switch it up. Austin Bill, coming on X. I'd love to see that X can now get in here and ask questions. It's great to see. Ask your questions away over there on X. It used to be just YouTube and Facebook, but I love to see that that's working out. Pitts or Taysom Hill? I got to go Taysom Hill here. I'd never go Kyle Pitts. If you're new to the show, then you probably are aware, but I never like Kyle Pitts. Maybe Heineke unlocks a little bit for him. I'd rather just go for the touchdown upside here of Taysom Hill. I'm hoping, though, maybe Hunter Henry's out there, something of that nature for you. Austin Bill, but let's go Taysom Hill of those guys. Justin Vetter, good to see you. Sit one PPR. Hall, Swift, or Singletary? I know Singletary started to take that backfield over, but I don't know. I feel like just when you start to trust the guy is when like Dameon Pierce will get 15 carries, including all the red zone work, right? And I just don't love the matchup against Cleveland, especially with Keenum leading the charge. So I'm going to play Hall and Swift there. Justin Vetter. Mr. Campanelli asking likely or Taysom. I'd definitely go likely there. Continue to ride that wave. He has been so hot at this point. Jonathan Santiago. Pick one to sit Walker, Barkley, Singletary, Chandler. I'd sit Singletary again out of these options. I think all the rest of them are phenomenal plays, and Singletary just gives me a little bit of the heebie-jeebs myself. Wolfpack, we got about 60 here. Again, pleading for that thumbs up button, whether you're on YouTube, Twitter, X, Facebook, wherever you're at. That thumbs up really does help us to continue to get out to more people, the shares, the likes, getting this Wolfpack growing. A lot of new names out there. Please do consider subscribing and helping your boy continue to grow the Wolfpack here. Fritz, Warner Flowers at the flex. Such a dud for Flowers, but I'm going to go back to the well. I think they're going to need to continue to push that pass against the 49ers. I think Flowers is going to be their main vein for doing so. Garrett Wadley, Stafford or Fields? I'm going to go Fields for sure. Such a bad run defense here. Plus, you're facing Cups, so I get that idea of like minimize the damage. Or what if they both bust? Now you got Fields. But either way, I just like Fields enough more that I think he's going to run for 150 against the Cardinals, and any passing is just gravy on top of that. Shane Minshew, Gardner's brother, tuning into the show. Great to see you. Taysom Hill or Tucker Kraft? I think I'm going to go Taysom Hill. I know. I feel like a lot of people ask about Taysom Hill. You know what you're getting. You just ask because you want somebody to push you to do it, and then you have somebody to give the middle finger to if he doesn't come out, right? I get it. You want someone to blame. You can blame me. I'm going to say I like Taysom Hill to potentially score tonight. Last week was sketchy. Maybe it is true that Jamal Williams is just going to get more of that volume now behind Kamara that had been going to Taysom Hill. But I think part of that was him coming back from an injury, working his way in. He's been such a dynamite weapon for them all year. And again, tight end doesn't really necessarily matter, but it's a great spot for tight ends. Maybe we get a little receiving volume out of Taysom Hill tonight. I just have a feeling he's getting in the end zone. So I'm gonna ride Taysom Hill tonight, and if he busts, he busts. But I think he gets in tonight. Josh Pesh in a standard league. Grow up. Deciding between London, Ford, Sutton, and Deontay. Any advice? I'd go Sutton. I mean, we're talking standard leagues. This guy has a touchdown in, 6 of his last 7? Standard league's all about the touchdown, so that's where I'm rolling. Go Sutton. Parker Washington or Slayton? I'd go Parker Washington for sure there. Ken, or should you trust Fields over Stafford? Garrett, he already asked that one, and yes, you should. Hey, outside of skill playlist from King Jack, who should I start this week? Broncos or Bears? And going with the special teams. They matter. I shouldn't scoff at you. I like the Broncos at home against the Pats. I think it's a great spot for them. Teams that had been cooking up until that, just smashing by the Lions. But this is not the Lions coming to town this week. Bears have been cooking, though, too. Really, really impressive. I think they're in a good spot as well. But I like the Broncos a little bit more than the Bears. Santos or Myers? I guess Myers. I don't know enough about kickers. I mean, come on. It's just a random boot, unless you have Dusty Hopkins. My man. Steve, half PPR, tight end. Assuming Henry sits, Kincaid or Hudson? Definitely Kincaid. Especially if you need an upside. Kane or Hudson has upside? Come on. No. I think Henry's definitely got the upside of all these guys, but Kincaid, you got to roll there, the Bills' offense. Waller versus Kincaid, I'm going Kincaid there, Garrett, for sure. I know last week's 0 probably has a lot of people sketched out, but it's still the Bills' offense against the Chargers' defense that can't defend anything well. I still like Kincaid a lot this week. Could you use some thoughts? Asked Stephen Chris. Here are some thoughts. And put them in your brain and think, sir. Need to sit one in my 2-week PPR championship series starting this week. Aaron Jones, Breece Hall, Kyron Williams, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, DK. So we need to sit one. You know you're not sitting Kyron, Devontae, Cooper, or DK. I'm not sitting any of those guys. It comes down to Aaron Jones or Breece for me. Say this. If A.J. Dillon's in, I sit Aaron Jones. If A.J. Dillon's out, I sit Breece. That's how I limit that one down. But I play all those other guys, lock them in. Second question, lost Herbert to injury. Should I start Stafford, Smith, or Mayfield? I would go Stafford in this one, Steven. What a good backup for you at this point. He's probably been cooking for you. Your team's probably hot with him. Let's keep the good times rolling with Stafford. Sit one, Walker, Monty, Aaron Jones, or Ty Chandler. I've said Aaron Jones here again, Jonathan, assuming A.J. Dillon's in. Now, if A.J. Dillon's not in, then it comes down to maybe Monty versus Ty Chandler because Aaron Jones is a must-play if A.J. Dillon's out. But he's practicing in full. I think he's in. I think it's just going to be ugly and annoying. Jelly of the month. What's the jelly of the month? Tell me. Half PPR. Probably starting 3 running backs since Keenan's out. Barkley, Achane, and Montgomery. Sit one for Ty Chandler. I would sit Barkley. I don't trust Barkley at all myself. So I'd get Chandler in, and then Achane versus Barkley. You can always swap in Barkley if you need to for Achane, but I think Achane's going to play. Standard Olave or Ayuk. I would go Ayuk over Olave. Go for the bomb in that case. PK, Geno, Mullins, Flacco, Minshew. Any strong leans here for people who need a QB streamer? I like all these guys, honestly, as QB streamers here, PK. I think they're all interesting options. I feel like Geno I want to favor, but are they going back to Geno? Is that like locked in? And Tennessee is such a bad secondary that I think Geno is tough to not play against atrocious pass defense. He's practicing in full. I'm assuming he's the guy still, but Mullins really does intrigue me too. I would like Flacco more if Stroud was playing and we could get a little bit more push pace there. But I'm going to be bumping Mullins up, and probably in my rankings right now he's lower than all these guys. But honestly, I love the match against Detroit. We know they're going to do their thing. So I'm going to go Geno if he's the starter, and if not, Mullins. Staff versus Fields, I'm going Fields. Garrett, stop repeating. I'm going to put you in timeout. Browning or Flacco? I go Flacco, especially with all these injuries for Browning's cast with no Jamar Chase. I'm going to go there. Mixon or Taylor? I like Mixon there, particularly if Zach Moss plays, but even if not, they've just been peppering running backs. Jake Browning has over 30% target share have gone to backs since he took over, and we've seen the impact on Mixon, who last week, sure, he didn't have a huge game, but he got the touchdown, 27, 20, and 14 in half PPR points for the last starts for Browning. Running back 1, 7, and 14. I mean, he's been rock solid. Somehow better without Burrow. I don't get it, but hey. And a pick like QB, Stafford tonight or Goff. My quarterback 8 and 9, and Gerard, I do have Goff a spot higher. But I don't feel great about it. I like them both. But I'm going to go Goff there. Evening, need 1 tight end, 2 running backs, 1 flex running back, and flex options of D. Henry. What's this question, Lucius? All right, Michael Pittman or Puka Nacua. I don't know what's going on there. You super chat that one earlier. I did say Michael Pittman, assuming he's in, but I know that kind of comes down to tonight. We'll see. Lucius, need a tight end spot. Komet, Goddard, Waller, or Fryer? I think I go Goddard here. Giants are bad. They're actually okay against tight ends, but I kind of go there. I go Goddard there. Fry's got the matchup, but who knows what Mason Rudolph's going to do. Metcalf or Pittman or Ridley. Also, would you bench Montgomery for one of them? I would not bench. I would probably, if Trevor Lawrence is in here, Tyler, I think I just play all the receivers if this is full PPR. I would go Pittman, Metcalf, my favorite two. And then Ridley versus Montgomery does come down to Trevor Lawrence's status. And but I think you play Metcalf or Pittman either way. And I go Packers because they got Carolina for the defense. Thank you again for that super chat. Gus, over 75 of you here. Come on, guys. Hit that thumbs up for your boy. Get us out to more people. Would mean the world. Continue to grow. And all these new names here. Please do subscribe to the channel. Help us climb to 4K. It is so greatly appreciated, guys. Starting Jefferson, so Metcalf or Pittman or Ridley. Then you would bench. Now I'm starting to lose you there, Tyler. You're welcome, Gus. Thank you again for your super chat. Much appreciated. Reborn Jungle, start 2. JT, Bijan, or Brees. I don't like Bijan this week. JT's my favorite. Locking him in. I'm going to go Bijan still, though, against the Colts. It's a bad drug here, but I got to go JT and Bijan. I do not trust Brees or really any Jets when it's Trevor Siemian at quarterback. I do also really like Chandler, but I still think I go JT and Bijan there. Bears or Packers D this weekend? I would go Packers against the Carolina Panthers, but I really do like the Bears. Hey, don't ask why I have 5 QBs, but I'm stuck. Nate, why do you have 5 QBs, buddy? Sorry, can't not ask. Why do you have 5 QBs? Stafford or Fields? I also have Flacco. So you have Stafford and Fields. Why do you have to have all these other guys? You try to block an opponent? Like, what is happening here? I would definitely go Fields, though. I love the match against Arizona. The running upside is insane there. And then any passing points against a bad secondary is just great. T. Hill or Terry M? I don't love Terry, but this is one where I would go Terry over Taysom Hill. I wish how crazy is that? If Jacoby Brissett was starting, I'd have Terry as probably a top 15 wide receiver. He's just always locked on to Cooper last year. He loves locking on number ones. But I can't go a mediocre, risky tight end over Terry in that case. Henry or Thomas at tight end? I go Hunter Henry for sure. There, Nate May. Love him and Zappy's connection. One final one. Sorry, Boyd or Myers? I like Jacoby. I'm a big fan of Jacoby Myers. He's been really playing well. Wolf, how's it going? You ready to crush semis? Hell yeah, brother. Let's go. Absolutely. Why you have Koo so high? Because it's Younghoe Koo. What else do you need? It's Younghoe. Absolutely love him. Well, Indianapolis is also giving the second most points to kickers. I do know that because I had to pick up Koo this week. So I did some studying on Koo. And I know that the offense has been abysmal, but Desmond Ritter's gone. I think Taylor Heineke will move this offense a little bit more confidently against a defense that's good for fantasy, opportunistic, turnover, sacks. They also can be moved the ball upon. So I think they're going to move the ball well with Heineke, maybe not score. And then we're getting a bunch of 50-yard bombs out of my man Younghoe, baby. Mahomes or Purdy? Oh, it's my 6 and 7. Leaning Mahomes very slightly, Mike Clay. But, hey, if you love Purdy, you think that game shoots out, that Super Bowl preview maybe? I get it. I do. But I go Mahomes very, very slightly there, Mike Clay. Do you ride the Stafford wave or go Fields? Garrett asking the same question in 8 different ways. You've already heard my answer there, Garrett. Thrills, pick 2, Trey McBride, Sam Laporta, or Chris Olave. I would go – is it crazy I would go these 2 tight ends over Chris Olave? I said I probably would play Olave over almost everything I got, and that's how good – tight end's still just such a crapshoot overall, but there are like a top 6 that are just wide receiver 1s right now, and Laporta and McBride are definitely in that tier. Laporta's the must start, not benching him. Olave and McBride is very, very close, but I feel like McBride is the number 1 weapon here. 9, 7, 9, 9, 11 targets the last 4 weeks, 17, 7, 10, 19, and 15 and a half PPR. Yeah, I got to keep that rolling. I'm going Laporta and I'm going McBride. Logan Barrett, should I start Ferguson or Taysom this week? Got to go Fergie. Got to go for the volume and an elite offense there for sure. The great win. Tucker Kraft, man, over there. I remember that last week, loving Tucker Kraft. And I'll keep rolling Tucker Kraft here. Unless Musgrave's back, I'm going Tucker Kraft. Kraft, Goddard, or Ferguson? Going Ferguson there, Tyler Sperry. Gus O'Leverett, Waller, a lot of Ferguson in a row. Ferguson. Why are we getting so many Ferguson questions? I mean, Miami's like okay, but shootout game. I guess 7 points last week's a little sketchy, but 17-10 the week before that, and 19-11. Fergie's been solid. I keep riding that out. Fergie's good. Use some input on this one. Half PPR flex, Puka, Adams, Montgomery, Eckler. Tell you who not. I'll break the fourth wall here. Not going Eckler. That's for sure. I'm going to go Puka. Ride him out tonight, baby. Let's go. Puka's the man. I know that's not the hard analysis you're here for, but like I've almost never benched Puka, and I've almost never regretted it. I know last week was a dud. Yeah, 8 half PPR points. Still okay. 22-12 the weeks before that. Cleveland 22. Come on, Puka. Let's go. Austin Eckler, Noah Brown. Oh, Michael. Maybe this is where I would actually go Eckler. Nico Collins is back in case Keenum really sustained 2 receivers. Noah Brown, maybe he's a boy. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. We'll see. But I think this is where I go Austin Eckler. Thank you for the help. Well, thank you, Colin. Use those manners. Thanks, Will. I appreciate the time and help. There you are. Asked the same question 8 times, but at least you said thank you. No doubt, man. Thank you, brother. I think it's your first time around here, so no worries. Would you play Waller or Kincaid this week? Kincaid gone. I know 0 is scary, but, I mean, come on. Chargers defense is not good against any position, tight ends included. I think they're just going to pace them with points. Full PPR. Also, defense, Chiefs or Bears. I like the Bears. I do. I thought I'd feel better about the Chiefs defense. I don't. I like the Bears more. And I don't have my rankings reflecting that, so that is something I'm going to make sure to change. I've had a few kind of those got to change my rankings moments that I'm going to make sure to be doing, but I feel better about the Bears than my rankings reflect. So I will be updating those rankings. I'd have the Bears ahead of the Chiefs this week. 63-point Raiders. I don't think that's happened again, but hey. I'm just trying to figure out this one other thing I was going to do rankings-wise, but I'll find out after the show. Ridley or Olave for Voltron Comedy? It's just so tough to know if Trevor Lawrence is going to play or not. If he's out, I really don't want to trust, even as the clear number 1 for CJ Beathard. No, thank you. I'd go Olave tonight. Get him in. Safer play there, Voltron. All right, bumping the Bears, the Chiefs down, so the Bears go up. All righty. Half PPR, Chris Olave, Rashee Rice, Chuba Hubbard. You got to pick how many. We currently have Tyreek and Mostert starting in the flex. So we just need one of these guys. I go Rashee Rice, Austin Sleek. I'd rank them Rice, Olave, then Chuba. I really like Chuba. I'm plus 3 ECR on him this week, but that's just 3 good options. Grind don't stop. Great to see. A bold prediction for tonight. Good question. Bold prediction for tonight. I mean, it's not bold to say Kyren Williams scores 2 touchdowns, right? So I would say a bold prediction is I think Rashid Shaheed gets a long touchdown tonight. I think he scores. I'm going to make sure he's in my my DraftKings showdowns. And Dwayne Johnson down 117-120 despite Brees. Hey, you're in the thick of things with those guys just crapping their pants. Pick 2 in full PPR. Bijan, Brees, Zeke, HN, or Javonte. I would go Zeke and I think Bijan. HN versus Bijan is very tricky. If you wanted to bench Bijan, I would not blame you at all. I would go Zeke, HN, Bijan at the top 3. I think I'd go Zeke, Bijan myself, but I'd totally get it. Parker, Washington, or Rashid Shaheed? I'd go Rashid Shaheed, Justin Miranda in that case. Nocturnal Gaming, Mayfield, McCall. Okay, your lineup. Thanks for sharing. Nocturnal Gaming. You got a question? Let me know. In the semis, pick 2 running backs, 2 receivers. Set your lineup, AJA. Is how I take this. K9. He said thanks, so I'll do it. K9, Jacobs, Pacheco, Chuba, Chandler. I would go if Pacheco's in. I'm going him. It looks like he's going to play this week. And I would go Chuba for the other running back. I would go Diggs and Puka, and then I believe I'd flex Higgins out of these options. Good team, though, AJA. A lot of good options there. Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray? I'm going to go Kyler Murray, Michael Kafka. I think against the Bears, you could run a little bit. Austin Sleek. Nice name, Austin Sleek. And we do have a super chat, Austin Sleek, so I'm going to have to put you on pause because we always let our super chats cut the line, but I'll be right back with you, Austin Sleek. James Grover. Thank you so much for your support. $5 super chat here. Full PPR, you help set in the lineup 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 flex. CMC, Kamara. I mean, there you go. CMC, Kamara, probably flexing Mostert too. St. Brown, Cup. So, yeah, you're going to play the 3 running backs. And then it comes down to you playing St. Brown, and I'll probably play Cup there at the receiver. And I guess I'm benching Nakua and Godwin there. But of the Rams receivers, it seems like Cup's trending the right way. He looks fully healthy finally. Godwin coming off that great game and a good matchup's tricky too, but Nakua versus Mostert. But rather than play 2 Rams, play the 3 running backs, St. Brown and Cup. That's how I would do that one. You got a big night tonight, James, huh? Best of luck, man. Great team. Good options. Those are the guys I would go. Thank you so much for your super chat and your support of the boys. So back to Austin Sleek. Olave, Rashee Rice, Hubbard, Mostert, Amari for 2 flex spots. All right, we got some tough decisions to make here. I go Mostert, and I go Rashee Rice. And I love Olave tonight. I do. I talked about it. But of these guys, I like Rice and I like Mostert the most. Good team, though. I mean, you got some depth there, Austin. The Smitty, Mixon or Walker. Also, Kyler or Stafford. I'm gonna go Mixon over Walker myself. I love Mixon this week. I love Mixon any week with Browning. Loves to pepper the running backs. And I'm going opposite of UZ Smitty, but I think I'm going Kyler over Stafford very slightly. The Stafford one, if you want to go Stafford over Kyler, no sweat there. I totally get it. Same tier, right neck and neck with each other. I do have Mixon a few spots above Walker, though, is where I lean. Murray, Flacco, Geno, Goff for 10 win. I would go Murray. No, I'd go Goff, actually. I'd rank them Goff, then Murray, then Flacco, then Geno, then Flacco. Goff, Murray, Geno, Flacco is how I rank them. 10. With Allen out, my wide receiver pivot doesn't look great. Terry McLaurin or Hollywood Brown? Definitely got to be Terry. We cannot trust Hollywood Brown right now. I know it's not great. I get you, Gerard, but you cannot. 32% of the snaps for Hollywood last week. No, thanks. We had like 10 bench spots. Yes. Just absolutely. Yeah, I guess that explains why you have 5 quarterbacks on the roster then. Mike Evans or Rashee Rice for PJ Monroe. I got to go Mike Evans. I love Rashee Rice too. I really don't want to bench him, but Mike Evans, getting Jags defense, giving up the most points to wide receivers in the last 3 weeks. Absolute monster. I'm going Evans. Kamara or Cup? Oh, Stegs. Tough. Probably Kamara for the volume, but full PPR, I'd go Cup myself. I would. Half PPR, I'd go Kamara. Standard, I'd go Kamara too. Tough option, Stegs. Dylan Adams, Wolf. Goff or Stafford? Goff for me. Pacheco's a go. Go. Play Pollard and Mixon over him? Yeah, I would. Yeah. And I just really like Mixon this weekend. I'm a little bit higher than the ECR on Pollard. So as much as I like Pacheco, now as we get closer to Sunday, if McKinnon's going to be out, now we're talking maybe Pacheco over these guys. But for right now, I do go those other ones. We do have a super chat coming on in from Richard Wolf. My namesake, Richard. Thank you, brother, for the super chat. Cheers. Stafford or Goff? My gut says Stafford, but everyone's saying Goff. Great stream, by the way. Hey, thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. Kind words. And my name's the Wolf, so no wonder you like it, huh? I do have Goff higher. Now, this is what I will say, Richard. I love that you write, my gut says Stafford, because here's the deal. You got to go down on your own sword. And if your gut says Stafford, you got to do it. They're in the same tier. I have Stafford. I have Goff 9, Stafford 11. I do go Goff. I think a divisional shootout, Minnesota, bad secondary. You can't really run on them. I like Goff. 5 touchdowns last week. But hey, here's the deal. If you trust gut, if your gut is saying Stafford, you have to trust your gut. You do. You'd feel so much better about losing, even though you trusted your gut, than losing and you went with me and you went against your gut. You got to go down on your own sword. And then when you win, you can say, F you, Wolf, I only won because I played Stafford, even though you said to play Goff. You were wrong. I was right. Ha. You don't seem like the guy to do that. But hey, I do think Goff is a better play this week. But if your gut is saying Stafford, they're so close that you have to trust your gut, is what I will say. You always want to trust your gut. There are times where a gut question is so far off that I will just say go away from, your gut's wrong here. This is not one where your gut might be wrong. They're close enough that this is a very tough question. Thank you so much, Richard Wolf, for the support, for your super chat here. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And we left off, let me find it here. Grind Don't Stop, we saw. Hold on. So many good questions, guys. Thank you so much. Sorry for losing my place, and thank you again. Oh, well, we got a super chat, so we'll pop over to that. Mel Bailey coming in with $10. Thank you so much for the very generous super chat. Tons of super chats coming in again. Last week, I think we got like 20 of them, but now we're getting big money coming in. You guys are so generous. Thank you so much. I hope I get them right for you. You guys deserve it. No doubt. 7 leagues. Mel Bailey. I love it. T-Law, Gino. As long as T-Law's in, it's T-Law. But he might make it easy because he might be concussed and you might have to go Gino there. Fields or Flacco? Definitely Fields for me. No doubt about it. I think he's going to destroy Arizona this week. Running back 2, Jones. So this is one where I'd like to know which Jones are we talking. Warren, Ford, Chandler. I'm trying to think of like what Jones. Aaron Jones is probably who you're referring to. And of these guys, I actually like Chandler the most. Aaron Jones, though, gets Carolina. A.J. Dillon's status is going to play into this, though. If A.J. Dillon's healthy, it's tough to ignore. The red zone, you got to steal into the work. They've always made it a committee. I do think I like Aaron Jones, though, just because Chandler does get Detroit one of the toughest matchups for running backs. But it comes down to Aaron Jones and Chandler for me. And if A.J. Dillon then it gets tougher, I think I'm going with Aaron Jones, though, there. Running back 2 plus 2 flexes. Monty, Walker, Swift, Mixon, Higgins, Palmer. All right. I am going Mixon. I am going Monty. Mixon, Monty for the running backs. And one running back, one flex. Monty, Mixon. And then I think I go Higgins, especially if it's full PPR here, Mel. I'm going to go Higgins just slightly over DeAndre Swift. Would be my next one up there. And then the last questions here. Hey, you super chat $10. You know what you're getting into because you asked 18 questions. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. I'm happy to go through them all for your generous super chat, Mel Bailey. Just need a sip of beer to get through them. Thank you so much. Cooper, Nico, Deontay, Chandler, Pollard, B-Rob. ATL. B-Rob. I don't know what ATL means. Okay, so wide receiver 2, I would go Nico. And then running back 2, I would go Pollard. And then 2 flexes, I'd go Cooper, just balling with Flacco. And I think I'd go Chandler over Deontay. So it comes down to like bench 2, I'd bench Deontay and B-Rob there. Thank you so, so much, Mel. What a generous super chat. I hope that helps you out. I hope I get it right for you. Best of luck to you. Love that you're in 7 leagues. Hardcore. That's the type of Mel. I don't think I've seen you here. Subscribe. Come on over to the Wolfpack. We'd love to have you here to multiple shows. Not because you just super chatted, but if you're in 7 leagues, you're a sicko, just like the people we want to grow the Wolfpack with. So thank you so much for your support, Mel. Really, really appreciate it. Attitude Era, Mark. I love the attitude. There's nothing better than the attitude era, Mark. Favorite match, Mark? Let me know. What's the best match of all time? Love the attitude era. I have Stafford. Wide receivers are A.J. Brown, DK, running back, Gibbs, Pacheco, tight ends, McBride. What a team. Attitude era. You're killing it. Flexes Mostert. Bench. No wonder you're the 1 seed. I can see it. So you got Ayuk, Bijan, Russ, Goddard, and then Keenan's hurt. So the only one I'm considering here is, do we get Ayuk in? I don't get him in over Gibbs. I mean, so wide receivers, I play A.J. Brown and I play DK over Ayuk, right? Gibbs is a lock at running back. I put Mostert ahead of Pacheco. So then it comes down to Ayuk versus Pacheco for the flex. That's how I rank this one. That's the only consideration I think you have here. If Pacheco's trending in, and it seems like he is, especially if McKinnon's out, then it's a no-brainer. You play Pacheco, you don't think about it. The good news is you can kind of wait this one out, right? Because Christmas Day, I think, is when we get that matchup, if I'm not mistaken, between at least it's a night game. So we have some time here. If McKinnon's going to be out, it's a no-brainer. You play Pacheco. Otherwise, I honestly think I go Ayuk over Pacheco. It's half PPR, so it is closer, though. I think I keep it the way you have it, Mark. but I would put Mostert in over Pacheco, put Pacheco to the flex because that's a Monday night game. And then we see, do we do Ayuk? Do we do Pacheco? What do we do? That's how I'd play this. That's the only debate I have on this lineup. What a lineup anyways, by the way. I mean, you're one versus the other. I think Pacheco's less likely to fail you, whereas Ayuk might disappear, but man, I love Ayuk. I do. And again, the Ravens a tough matchup, but this is where like Purdy and the 49ers thrive and they go off, the tough matchups. There's the Cowboys, all these guys ate. Oh, that's a good one. I'd keep it as you have for now. Let's see what else we learn. I'd probably stick to Pacheco in a half PPR. I didn't see that was half versus full. So I like how you have it. I really do. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the generous support there. As well, another super chat from Mr. Hennings. Thank you so much, brother. Much, much appreciated, guys. PPR, need 2 running backs and a flex from Eckler, Pacheco, Chandler, Singletary, Godwin. All righty, Mr. Hemmings, thank you so much for the pounds over there. And I think it's Britain. You've told us before. I somehow forget it every time. I'm sorry, Ryan. You're the man. I appreciate you, brother. I'm going to go Pacheco for sure. I'm going to go Chandler for the 2 running backs. I'm benching Eckler on those guys. And I'm going to go Godwin. I love the matchup against the Jags. They're so bad against receivers at all layers. Coming off a 10-catch, 155-yard day. I can't believe I'm benching Eckler, but Ryan, I don't want him in my lineup. Do you? I have him in leagues. I'm not playing him. I'm done. Don't want anything to do with him. So we're going Pacheco, Chandler, and Godwin there, Ryan. Thank you guys so much. I believe that does wrap up the super chats for now. So thank you guys so much. Free way to support your guy, though, is that thumbs up button with so many new names as well. We'd love to have you subscribe to the Roto Street Journal YouTube channel, wherever you're watching. We're trying to climb to 4K subs for the season. It would be so greatly appreciated if you guys could help us do that. But thank you guys so much for your generous super chats for sure. All righty. So I think Austin Sleek, you were the last one. I said Rashee Rice and Mostert. So we left off on Mixon or Walker. Oh, no, we did that one. And I said Mixon and I said Kyler. But Z Smitty, I think you super chatted that one too. Oh, no. So we got Vahey. We had Evans. Okay, so we are at Kamara, Cup, and I said Cup in full PPR, Kamara otherwise. All right, so I'm finding my spot. So here we are. And Dylan, I said play Pollard and Mixon over Pacheco. So here we are. Sorry, my receivers are Jefferson, Metcalf, Pittman, Ridley. I need 2 wide receivers, and I have Monty, Mixon, and Kyron. Need 2 running backs. So you're playing Kyron and Mixon, and then 2 receivers. You're playing Jefferson. You're playing Metcalf. Flexing Pittman here is how I go about that one, Tyler Sperry. T. Higgins and DJ Moore. I'm going DJ Moore there, Tyler Kelly. Mike Clay, I popped Douglas in. Would you roll one of the Giants? No. No. But I don't love Pop Douglas. Maybe Parker Washington if Trevor Lawrence is playing over him, but I'd go Pop over any Giants. Joe Muir, Taysom or Tucker Kraft? I go Taysom. I go for the touchdown tonight. Musgrave might be playing. I mean, Tucker did look good, but Carolina is not a great fun matchup, huh? I go Taysom. Hey, Voltron, Ridley or Olave? I go Olave. I just don't. The QB situation is too tricky to wait out on. Had PPR start 2 for Mike 32. Saquon, Brees, JT, Jordan Addison. I would go JT for sure. I think I go Brees, maybe. I do like Addison too. I don't like Saquon. I will say the Saquon questions, I want to make sure I preface this. I lost in my most important league because Saquon got me 4 points. So I am a little bitter. Maybe I'm not seeing it, but I see an Eagles matchup that doesn't look good. I see a Giants offense that looks horrendous. I see a Saquon that doesn't seem like he's overstepping anymore. So I'm going to go JT and Addison. I love Addison and the rapport there he had with Mullins' willingness to fling deep. Let's go JT and Addison. Let's not worry about ugly running backs and ugly offenses, right? Let's get rid of that, Mike. Let's get some excitement. JT and Addison. Also start one tight end, Waller, Kincaid, or Goddard. I go Kincaid of these options there. I think the Chargers is the perfect spot for him to rebound there. Ferguson or Kincaid, full PPR. I go Ferguson in that case there, Draco TTTV. I love a Ferguson question. I feel like he's just been rock solid, no? Flex Javonte, likely, Waller, Dobbs, Spears. I gotta go Javonte here. Pat's not a good offense. Maybe they just bleeding clock. That's the Javonte script, right? It comes down to Javonte or likely. I'll tell you that, though, Mike. If you really want to go likely, I would not blame you at all. Joe, full PPR, pick one. Achane, Kenneth Walker, or Pacheco. I got to go Pacheco if he's fully healthy there. If he's playing, I'm going Pacheco, especially if McKinnon's out too. Masturbate or cuckold from Caribbean Freddy. The hard-hitting questions here. I'll go masturbate. A lot less risk there. Cuckold, and a lot of bad things can happen out of that one. Thanks for the hard-hitting questions, Caribbean Freddy. Taysom Hill or Darren Waller, standard score. Taysom Hill, especially in standard. You're just going for touchdowns, right, Mark? Olave or Jonathan Taylor? I'm going definitely Jonathan Taylor at the flex there. Mr. New Orleans 504. Full PPR, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 flex. Need help setting the lineup for James Grover, which you super chatted us earlier. So that was this one. Thank you so much for that support, James Grover. As we said, CMC, Kamara, Mostert, lock them in, and then St. Brown and Cup were the options we went. We have another monster super chat coming in. Thank you guys so much. Eli, thank you very, very much for your $10 generous super chat. You lost. Your super chat is even despite a lost season just because you're the absolute man. Lost in round 1 of the playoffs. What a team, too. That sucks. Yeah, Addison versus Jettis. Your team on paper wins that 9 out of 10 times. But unfortunately, the game's not won on paper. It's won on the real-life gridiron. And Singletary just randomly had 19. And Addison had 30 out of it. Good season, good team. Thank you so much for the support, Eli. I recognize the name. You popped into so many streams. So kind of you, despite not making it all the way, to still support your boy here with a very generous super chat. Eli, this is the salute to your fallen soldiers, your great team out there, man. You had a roster. You should have won. You deserved it. Your team was better. But you faced Laporta putting up 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's the one. When I look through these 3 names, the only edge I'd give him is Laporta, and that ended up being a 30-point edge. Tough. But thank you again, Eli. So generous of you, despite the losing effort. That shows you, man of good character, that you're willing to toss some support to your boy even after a tough loss. You're willing to stomach it and support your guy here. Thank you so much. Says a lot about you. Thank you very much, Eli. I mean that very genuinely. All righty. We'll pop on forward, but thanks again. Very, very kind of you. And best of luck. We'll be doing the off-season content. I hope to keep seeing you at streams. We'll get you ready. That's the thing about fantasy. It's, it takes skill to make the playoffs, and then it becomes pure luck. You should have seen the matchup. I know I'm going on a rant about my own team, and no one cares about my own team, right, Eli? But I'm in a situation just like you where I was projected to win by 20. My team put up 95. The worst it's been all year. I haven't had below 125 points in, I think, all season, maybe once. 95 in the fantasy the playoffs, my biggest league. And now this week, you get Josh Allen at the Charger. I have a matchups that you dream about. But just one of those weeks where nobody showed up. Eckler especially. You had Eckler, I had Eckler. And I can't say a bad word about the man because he's won me so many titles. But it was definitely a week 15, Eli, that the best teams often didn't win. And I know, but obviously I'm going to say that after I lost. But just so many studs either got hurt or didn't come through, or were hurt heading into the week that you had leaned upon. All right, Eli, I'm sorry for the loss, man. But thank you again so much for your generous support. It really means a lot. Tyler Raphael, Olave tonight? Yeah, I'm in. I'd play Olave. Chuba actually weirdly, very much intrigues me. But I'm going to go Olave over all these guys here, Tyler. We talked about him at the beginning of the show, so feel free to rewind to that. But again, in his last 4 full games, top 10 receiver in 3 of the 4, 9 or more targets. He's been a beast. I'm going Olave. I think he's in a good spot tonight. Taysom Hill or Darren Waller, got that a few times. I'm going to go Taysom Hill. Both are big risks. I trust the touchdown upside of Taysom Hill a little bit more. Would like to see Olave. I think a lot of people would like to see Olave score 2 touchdowns. Touchdowns had been lacking, but hey, you know what, Mike? 3 touchdowns in the last 5 games. Hasn't had a multi-touchdown day yet. What better than that? Now, I think Olave could absolutely blow up tonight. 10 win. I'm going Jets over Green Bay, and I love them both this week. Absolutely. Leo Nunez. Should I start Taysom Hill or Hunter Henry? That was the one. That's what I was thinking about my rankings is I had Taysom above Hunter Henry. Now, it's not a guarantee Hunter Henry plays, so we're going to have a backup to Leo. But I really like Hunter Henry this week. I think I have Taysom Hill too high. Maybe he scores the touchdown. I'm going to bump him just below Dallas Goedert, though, and I'm going to put Hunter Henry above him. because I think tight end 4 in back-to-back weeks for Hunter Henry. He's been an absolute monster. So assuming he's in, I'm going to go Hunter Henry there, Leo. I'm changing my rankings because you guys help me out. When I said Hawkins and McBride and Njoku, my other stars are Kamara, Etienne at running back. My flex are Sutton and Monty. I would bench Sutton. I would. I'd put 2 tight ends in here. I mean, I would potentially. I've never kind of seen this one. You have the tight end weaponry to go 3 tight ends. Hawkins and McBride and Njoku. You really do. I don't think I'd bench Monty for one of them, but I might. I actually legitimately might play 3 tight ends in that lineup. I would at minimum bench Sutton for McBride, and I think I might play Njoku over Monty. Maybe not. I don't know. That would be the ultimate, just 3 tight end lineup, though. Come on, Kron. How can you not? I hate to sit Bijan, but I'm going with volume play with Ty Chandler despite tough matchup. I would still go Bijan here, but hey, grind, trust the gut, go with what you're feeling. I would go Bijan over Chandler myself. Anthony Roseberg, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Full PPR. Need 2 receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex. We got Evans, DK, Puka, D. Smith. So we need 2 receivers. Who are we benching here? I'm definitely playing Evans, and I think I'm definitely playing DK. I don't know. Is DK that much of a lock over Puka? Because Puka's just the man. I don't know what. Okay, maybe we're getting one of them in the flex anyways here. Tennessee, they're so bad against outside receivers. Yeah, we're going Evans and DK. And then at running back, we need 2. We're going Pollard, Pacheco. So in the flex, yeah, I think we get Puka in. I think we get Puka in over Connor. I like Connor a lot too. I'm higher on Connor plus 5 ECR on him this week, and I still would rather have Puka in there, especially in a full PPR. Let's get the receivers fired up. Evans, DK, Puka, Pollard, Pacheco. Let's go. Absolute must win. Of course it is. It's the semifinals, Anthony. Let's go. We know it's a must win. Let's get it right, baby. That's where I'm leaning. Let me know where you're leaning, Anthony. Thank you so much for the support. But Evans, DK, Puka, Pollard, Pacheco. Let's get that dub in the semis, baby. Thank you so much for the support. And we got another super chat coming right in, right after I was about to get back to the regular scheduled programming. Patrick, you're always super chat, man. So generous of you. Thank you so much. Every week, you're always coming through. Indy or Kansas City, I'm going to keep riding Indy. I mean, they have been so rock solid, so hot, and now they get Atlanta. And I know Heineke's probably an upgrade to Desmond Ridder, but is he guaranteed to be? No. And even if he's an upgrade, they have nowhere to go but up, but it's still going to be probably ugly. Hubbard or Flowers, half PPR. I'm going to go Hubbard over Flowers. I love the matchup against Green Bay. I love 20-plus carries in 3 straight weeks since Tim Brown took over as the play caller, Thomas Brown, whatever his name is. Loves Chuba. That's all I know. And he's been riding him, and now he gets the best matchup he's had. I like Chuba there, and I like Flowers a lot this week, Patrick. But going Indy, I'm going Hubbard. Great options all around. You could sell me if you really want Flowers over Hubbard, but I'm feeling Hubbard this week. I am. So Indy and Hubbard, baby. Let's go, Patrick. Thank you. Always coming through with the super chats. So very generous of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are so generous tonight. Thank you. All righty. So we were at Colin. Thanks, Wolf. Rad Kincaid. Any preference between Nico, Sutton, or Palmer? I think I'd keep riding Nico. He's been so good all year. Keenum's not the worst of backups. So that's where I lean. I go Nico there. Who's your favorite fantasy player this year? Kyron Williams and Puka Nacua. I got him on all my waiver wires in every league. Made the playoffs in 7-7, and largely they were hugely because of it. Nothing better. Nothing better, Grind, when I spent all my fab in all my leagues or number 1 priorities and all that stuff to get them. And everybody, Wolf has no fab. What a loser. Who trusts this guy? Obviously, those guys have just carried me and been absolute rock stars. To get a running back 1 and wide receiver 1 off the waivers, absolute favorites, no doubt. Attitude error mark. So no Bijan consideration right for my lineup. So attitude error mark. Let me pull yours back up. No, I know I saw it. It really – so, yes. Should you be considering Bijan? I wish. Yes. Is he talented? He's a talented running back about to get a top 5 matchup for backs. It should be a no-brainer. It should be a lock button, right? But Arthur Smith is such an insert word of choice that will get me banned from the internet, right? I can't stand it. He doesn't – ugh. I wish it was as easy as it is. So, yes, I want to consider him attitude error mark. I do. But No, I don't, because of Arthur Smith, which is so damn asinine for one of the best running back prospects we've seen in the last 5-10 years. That I can't even consider him in a top 5 matchup because the coach is such an absolute moron. That's probably going to give Tyler Algier double the carries he gives to Bijan. Ugh. It seemed like just like we were able to start trusting him, and now we're into this crap. So no, honestly, I don't consider Bijan. I know why you want to. I know why you should, but I don't myself. Sucks. But yeah, so Kyron and Puka, definitely my favorite players this year. McBride's not far off, though. I love him too. Hubbard or Barkley? I'm going Hubbard, Mike. I do not want Barkley. Like I said, I'm prefacing all my Barkley questions with, he burned me last week. He ruined my most important league. I am scorned. But I also do not like the matchup against the Eagles. I don't like him. I don't like the offense. Don't like any of it. Jose DeHaro. Should I start Hill tonight? Maybe. It's my tight end 11, right? So I don't know who your other option is, but is he in play? Absolutely. He's got one of the few tight ends with 20-plus point upside. So, yes, he's in play. But I need to know who your other option is before I tell you yes, absolutely. Help, please. Art Romano. Puka or Olave for tonight? I go Puka very slightly over Olave there, Art. Thank you. I hope that one helps you out, brother. But, yeah, I just like Puka. I cannot go against Puka ever. And Wolfpack, so many generous super chats, but over 60 is still here. That thumbs up button definitely continues to help us grow. We have about 25 or so more minutes to keep answering all these questions. Please do consider helping your boy out, hitting that thumbs up button. It really does help us get out. And so many new names, Art Romano and all these guys. Please do consider subscribing to the channel, helping us climb towards 4K. We'd love to have you as we continue to answer your questions. We'll be back on Sunday morning, Christmas Eve, here for you guys. Definitely, no doubt about it. Maybe even Saturday. Maybe we'll do a little Christmas Saturday special, huh? Barkley, Hubbard, or Swift? I go Hubbard over Swift. Barkley's my last choice there, Mike. Stafford at New Orleans tonight or Russ versus New England? I'm going Stafford there of attitude I remark, no doubt. Puka or Olave? I've been confident on Puka. I'm going Puka. I wouldn't second guess. I mean, I see why you're second guessing. Again, there's a lot of good reason to like Olave tonight, as we talked about, since week 6, 10, 15, 9, 8, 9, 9, 8 targets in his full games. And across the last 4, especially 14, 18, 15, 14 and a half PPRs, last 4 full games. All of them were top 20. Half of them were top 10. I get it. I just love Puka. I don't go against Puka. But I get why you question it, Z. It's very close. I have them, 2 spots within each other. Hopefully I'll catch you over the holidays on here. Hey, absolutely, Ryan Hemmings. Love to. Eagles versus Chiefs and Bills versus – I'm going Bills. Love the Bills against the Chargers. Then you get New England next week. Best defense there. And Eagles over the Chiefs in the other one as well. Getting the Giants there. Taysom Hill or Hunter Henry? So, C-Rob, this is when I changed. I had Hill higher. I do like Henry, assuming he's in a bit better with that connection with Zappy. Need some PPR tight end help. Fryermuth, T. Hill, or Schultz? I love the matchup for Fry. It's Mason Rudolph. Like, do I want my fantasy championship to come down to Mason Rudolph? Not really. I don't think so, 5280 Sports. I wish Hunter Henry was here to make it easier for us. I think I'm going Taysom Hill. I think this is 15280 where I ride Taysom Hill tonight. Richard Wolf, thank you so much. If you enjoyed the live, if you enjoyed the advice and you haven't already, please subscribe. Love to have you to more often shows. I feel like the first time I've seen you here, but we'd love to have you more often, Wolf. A wolf knows a wolf when he sees one. PPR pick 2. D. Smith, Amari Cooper, DK Metcalf. I think I'm benching Amari there, assuming D. Smith is in. We know he didn't practice today, so something to keep monitoring, but I think I bench Amari there. DK is my favorite of the 3. Puka or Mixon? Oh, Scooby, very tough one. I do like Mixon a little bit more than Puka this week, though. I've just been riding that wave since Browning came in. 30% target share to go in the running backs. Riding that, baby. Patrick Sullivan, half-point PPR. Pollard, Higgins, or McKinnon? I'd go Pollard. McKinnon's definitely not in consideration here, Pat, with Pacheco back. But I think Pollard's the play in half-point. Higgins is very close, though. Very high ceiling there. You were at mine. Just a friendly reminder. All right, Tyler. Because we were doing the super chats. I get what you're saying. Thank you for the friendly reminder. I found you. I have Bills defense. Tyler, are you subscribed yet? I feel like you're new here. Come on back. BC. I have Bills defense. Should I play Bills kicker or Rams since I don't see any reason to not play a defense with a kicker. Like there's no real negative correlation there. BC. I think I like Bass more than all the other ones. Maybe the Rams guys, the next closest though, if you really want to switch it up. I have wide receiver problems, says Victor. Don't we all have problems, Victor? Let's see what we can do for you though, huh? Demarcus Robinson, Noah Brown, Curtis Samuel, Jonathan Mingo. You need 2. Who should start? You do have some problems, huh? I would go Noah Brown and Curtis Samuel is my favorite here, though. They're not that bad. I mean, those are good wide receiver 3s. Wish you didn't have to have 2 of them in your lineup. But, hey, Noah Brown and Curtis Samuel, feel okay. I'd feel better about DeMarcus if Tutu Atwell wasn't playing Victor, but he is. Goff or Fields and need 3. Gibbs, Kamara, Kyron, Mostert, Pollard. Whew, Corey, those running backs are insane. I'm going Fields over Goff. Love the Arizona matchup. Love the running upside. Gibbs, Kamara, Kyron, Mostert, Pollard. Whew. Kyron for sure. Kamara probably next. I think Gibbs is my 3rd here. I love Mostert, love Pollard too, though. I mean, of these, I think I go the first 3 guys you typed in. Would you start Nakua over Diggs? No, not with the Chargers matchup on Doc. I know how bad Diggs has been, so I get why you're doing it. And honestly, if you're just like, send the message to the team, put Diggs on the bench, I get it. Let the locker room know. But I would go Diggs against the Chargers. Best matchup for them. Yeah, it is England. I knew it. Okay, I got it right, Ryan. Okay. We're waiting. Hopefully you're doing something other than watching the stream here, being over there at Public Kitchen. We'll be there soon enough. Agree on Eckler. Sad to a dumb legend. Yeah, it's too bad, isn't it, huh? To watch a legend just crumble like that. Would you start Nakua over Diggs? The Spice repeating himself here. FYI, the Jones running back was Aaron Jones to try it. Yeah. No, I think it was fine. Atlanta. Yeah, that makes sense, Mel Bailey. So, Mel, I'm sorry to misinterpret that B-Rob as so let me pull your super chat back up here. So, B-Rob, so we need 2 wide receiver 2, running back 2, and 2 flexes. So, I still go Nico, wide receiver 2. I still go running back 2 is Pollard. And then I do go Bijan. I'm glad you clarified. And I apologize for the mistake. You couldn't have made it more obvious. I wish you just typed Bijan instead of B-Rob. But I guess you could have made it a little more obvious. But the ATL was pretty clear. So that's my fault. I'd go Nico, Pollard, and B-Rob for Atlanta, not Washington. How I misinterpreted that, I don't know. But thank you for clarifying, Mel. And, yeah, that's where I would lean for sure. All right, we left off on Da Vinci. Taysom Hill or Hunter Henry? I am going to get into rapid fire mode, 6:34. Yeah, we're going to go rapid fire here. Taysom Hill or Hunter Henry? I'm going Hunter Henry. Sorry, is it too late to get defensive opinions? I'd go Eagles and I'd go Bills there, Ryan Hemmings. BC, Taysom, Waller, or Henry at tight end, half point? I would go Hunter Henry there, BC. Full PPR lineup. I would not. I think, Colin, you got to limit it to some choices. Unless you want super chat, I'll go through your whole lineup. But I don't like. I need questions. Start 1 running back, 1 flex. Mixon, Reed. That's okay. Or likely. So I'm going Mixon and Pollard as the running backs in the flex there, and then I would go Broncos over Green Bay very slightly. Dylan, I know the teams. Please don't do the @try. I know the matchups. I know them. It just gets so congested. I appreciate you trying to give context, but I know the teams. I would go of these running backs. My favorite is Connor. I like Ayuk of the receivers, and I'd go Waddle as the flex. And I would go Bills defense. Waller or Taysom Hill. I'd go Taysom Hill there, Kyle. Can you not hear me well with the mic? Oh, I think the mic unplugged. Oh, that's. So my mic unplugged. I just switched back to the regular mic. Kyle, it unplugged on me, and I forgot to go back to that. So hopefully this sounds a little bit better for you. I would have been more in if I had realized it was just the internal mic. Sorry, guys, for everybody out there. Hopefully the sound sounds better at this point. Let me know, Kyle, if it sounds better to you. I think this mic's okay, but I want to get a new camera is what I really need to get. But yeah, I'm going Taysom Hill over Waller. One running back, one tight end with a flex. Mixon, Pacheco. Go Mixon. I'm going Njoku at tight end and probably Pacheco over Kittle, but I love all those options, Mahalo. Eli, thank you again for that. Sit the fuck down, bro. I have, we do have a super chat coming in, so let's pull that on up. Thank you. Hulk Smash Your Mom. Nice name. Non-PPR, Puka, Ty Chandler, or Zeke. If it's non-PPR, I think I'm going to go Zeke, even though PPR does help him too. He's my favorite bet to get a touchdown of these options, and touchdowns are at a premium in standard leagues like that. So I'm leaning that right there. Best matchup for running backs. So I'm going there. I have wide receiver problems. I have DeMarcus. Oh, yeah, we already answered that one, Victor. Saquon, JT, Kyron, Montgomery. I am sitting Kyle. I'm sitting Saquon there. Hello, love your content. Thank you, Ankar. Need a suggestion. If Nico plays, should I play him over Devonta Smith as my wide receiver too? I'd probably stick with Devonta there. Maybe, though. Maybe. And I would not flex him over Pacheco, no. I like Pacheco the most there. Start which two? Half PPR. Olave, Pittman, Waddle. I would go Olave, Pittman, I think, is where I'm leaning there. Looks like Bjorn, you sent a super chat, but I don't see the question. So Campanelli will be on the lookout for your question there. And we will hit that when we see it, Bjorn. Thank you very much for the super chat. We'll pull that in shortly. Evans, Puka, Connor, Pacheco. Kyle, I don't know how many you need. Bjorn the question has come through. So let me pull that one up. Bjorn. Sorry, I don't know how to super chat. No, I appreciate you trying to super chat. So Bjorn, you sent us $2. So here's your question. You usually want to type the question, then hit the super chat button. But we got set my lineup. Stafford or Goff? I'm going Goff over Stafford. 2 receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex. So for running backs, I like Chuba and I like Swift, unless we have A.J. Dillon ruled out, then I go Aaron Jones over Swift. But Chuba for sure, and then I think Swift. Then we got Evans, Jefferson, Rice, Amon-Ra. Whew. So we're definitely flexing a receiver because these are the strength of your team. Definitely going Jefferson, definitely going Evans, definitely going Amon-Ra. And I love Rashee Rice, but hey, got to bench one. And then Broncos, Chiefs, or Browns. I go the Broncos very slightly over the Chiefs there. Bjorn, hope that helped, brother. Thank you very much for your super chat, brother. Thank you very much. All righty. We had left off at Anchor, so thank you again. Start which two? So we were there. And then Kyle was saying Evans, Puka, Connor, Pacheco. I like them all. Evans is my favorite, followed by Pacheco, then Puka, then Connor. Sutton or Pollard, I would go Pollard, Mimo. Happy holidays. Need 2 receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. Oh, so that's the super chat we just got. I don't know how to use that as flex, Ridley or Kamara. I would go Kamara there. Lewis. Blake Roberts, pick 1. Achane, Ty Chandler, Aaron Jones, Nico. I would go Achane there myself. Bijan he's a good player. He's just trash for fantasy because his coach is an idiot. At kicker, Gay, Harvard, Butker, Group A, or Bass. Gay, I guess. I don't know. You're welcome, Colin. Thank you. There we go. We got your super chat already there for you. I don't know if everyone. I think Bijan could come through, but yeah, it's a very risky bet there, Kyle. I agree. Hill, Henry, or Kraft at tight end. I would go Henry all day. I'd go Broncos over Bears. James Conner or Achane. I'd go Achane very slightly. Don't worry, Campanelli, you got to run. I totally get it. Thanks for the heads up. I go Broncos D, very slightly over Packers. It is very tight. I have CeeDee Lamb. Just need the other 2 for support. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb's an absolute monster. You're welcome, Victor. Good luck. Half PPR, Kincaid over Kmet. And I would go Gibbs, Taylor, Mixon for the running backs there, Lucio. Start which 2? Half PPR, Olave, Pittman, Waddle. I would bench Olave of those ones, Muv. Geno Smith or I think I play Olave over Waddle. I don't know, though. Very tight. Geno Smith or Baker? I go Baker there, Lewis. Thank you, sir. Championship game. Let's go, Corey Jones. I hope you make it. Nico or Garrett Wilson? I'd go Nico for sure. I'm not trusting anything with Trevor Siemian. Jose Sierra, would you bench Olave for Higgins? No, I'd play Olave there. Olave over Drake London for sure, Tina. Olave or Ridley? I'm going to go Olave, LA. Ferguson or Darren Waller? I'm going Ferguson, Sergio. Olave or DK? I'm going to go DK, Phantom Armor. Bijan, we got your set lineup super chat. Thank you again for your support. L. Jackson or Trevor Lawrence, pick one. I'm going to go Lamar Jackson, no doubt, Sergio. Kyler or Stafford tonight. I have Kyler very slightly above him, but it's close. So if you want to go Stafford, go for it. Going DK over Olave. No worries, Bijan. Thank you again for the chat. I appreciate it. Stafford or Baker. I'm going to go Stafford, Jimmy Neutron. Question all week is Purdy or Allen. I'm definitely going Josh Allen against the Chargers. No doubt, Garrett. Great matchup. Pacheco or Breece Hall. I would go Pacheco, no doubt. Sutton Palmer. I would go Sutton. And I would go Breece. So Sutton Palmer or Breece for the flex. I think I still go Sutton there in a full PPR. Hey, love your energy. No doubt. Oh, yeah, Raw. That is an unbelievable match. Attitude error, Mark. Great choice. I'm glad you like the NJ. Hope you subscribe so you can come back often. We need good energy like you here too, my man. You're a legend. Thank you, Attitude Error, Mark. Very nice of you to super chat throughout the night. Glad to have you come here more often. And that goes out to all you guys as I mow through the rest of these rapid fires. Please do one last call for that like button to get us out to more people. And then please do consider hitting that subscribe button to continue to come with us. Would be so great to see. Ridley or Garrett Wilson in non-PPR, Browns or Bears defense. So I would go Ridley over Garrett Wilson. Do not trust anything with the Saints. The Jets with Simeon. And then I'm going to go Bears over Browns very slightly, my friend. Mayfield, McCaffrey, Swift. Who should you got to limit it nocturnal gaming. You got to get it down to a question. I can't look at your whole lineup. You got who are you really limiting it to? Because I know Evans, McCaffrey, you're not questioning them, right? Limit that down for me, sir. Bijan Roland, thank you, sir. Mel Bailey, fun fact, I'm blind, so I've never seen his name spelled, and if it were John, I would have no problem. Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Now I understand. Well, Mel, wow, so cool to have, that's awesome. I was flat, it's so, I wonder how you found it when how you found us. I hope that helps you out. I understand. So, if you're going to spell it out, and I don't know if this helps you out, but it's Bijan, Bijan, Bijan. If that helps you out for the future, Bijan. It's such a weird name, so I totally understand why you're like, how do I spell that? And you might be doing voice typing, so it's like, is that ever going to pick up? Voice typing, probably not. But it is Bijan if that helps you out at all. But thank you so much for being here, Mel, and for this generous super chat. So greatly appreciated, Mel Bailey. Luis Mendez, Kittle or Kincaid. I would go Kittle definitely over Kincaid, Lewis. Last question. Need 2 PPR. Moore, Evans, Olave, Ayuk. I would go Evans and I'd go DJ Moore there, Corey Jones. Great receiver course. Likely Goddard or Waller. Definitely likely for me, the figure report. So many new people here. Figure report. Come subscribe. All you guys out there. Sergio, come subscribe. Love to have you. I would go Olave over Addison, Sergio. Very close, though. Harry Taylor. Need one running back and flex, full PPR. White, Kamara, DJ Moore, or Rice. So for the running back, I go Kamara. For the flex, I think I go DJ Moore. White's been so rock solid, but the Jags are not the best of matchups. Actually pretty good against receiving backs specifically. I already asked, but want to have more Kincaid or Ferg. I would go Ferg normally, but the stack with Allen is very intriguing, Dreco, especially against a Chargers defense that should get bombed. So I still think I go Ferg and just diversify because Allen can get there without Kincaid getting there. But it's close. It's close enough that if you want that push, you could go for it. T. Higgins or Chris Olave, I'm going Olave. Jack Wraith, I'm going Jets D, Bills D, or Eagles D for Alex. I would go Bills D against the Chargers. They're like my favorite play now this week. I want to make sure my defensive rankings reflect that, actually. Because I think I had the Eagles higher and the Jets higher in my rankings. Oh, no, Bills are my number one. You have my 3 top defenses, Alex. Bills 1, Eagles 2, Jets 3. So I love them all. Figure report, Stafford or Mahomes. I have Rice, so that's a nice potential stack. Yeah, I got to go Mahomes, with or without the stack, but even with the stack, all the better. Hey, Wolf needs some help from Matt B. Olave or Cooper. I would go Olave over Cooper, and I would go Goff over Stafford. Very slim. We've gotten that one a few times. I'm not very sold on it. Dara Janapa. Hall, H.M., Puka, pick 2. Also, Browns or Bears D. I would go Puka, and I'd go H.N., and I would go – I think I'm going Bears over Browns, which I'm going to change in my rankings now. Keenum at the Browns is nice too, but forgot defense. Houston or Denver? Definitely Denver for me, attitude error mark. Need one running. I want to say Puka, but McBride is really tempting here. I'm going to go Puka, I guess. Thank you, Dreco. You're welcome. Bijan or Puka? I'm going Puka there, figure report. Yo Soy Tony. Palmer, Downs, Boyd, or Wicks? I would go, I think Downs, unless all the other Packers receivers are out. Olave or T. Higgins? I'm going to go Olave there, Jack. I think you've asked on 2 different channels now. New Orleans is D. Number 3 on the season versus receivers. Yeah, it's a tough matchup, Fatty. I totally get it. I would not sit Puka. I'd play DK, but I would go DK, Puka, and probably Jaden if he's in. I don't want to trust Garrett Wilson right now. Mel Bailey, Bijan, of course, all good. Good luck to all. Love the energy and humbleness. We come for help, not to ridicule you. You got it, bro. Hey, cheers, Mel. Thank you so much again. You seem like, again, the right type of person to be here. If you can subscribe, please join the Wolfpack. We love to have you back more often. Yeah, Pijan, of course, right? The logical spelling of Bijan. Yeah, right. Who would have ever guessed that? But thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. You being here and all the positive energy you bring. Harry Taylor, thanks. The Moore White is, yeah, it's a really tough one. I go DJ Moore, but it's really tough. Let's go, Jack. I'm going Olave. Jingle, jingle all the way, baby. I go Olave over Devonta Smith, Daniel. I'm going McBride over Warren myself. Goff is available. I do go Goff over Stafford attitude error, but again, very, very close. I would certainly have him over Russ. So I would take Goff over Russ, no doubt. But Stafford versus Goff is very close tonight. Very close. Broncos, Bears, or Ravens defense? I go Broncos there. Luis Mendez. Indy or Denver? I like Denver. I like Indy myself. My Pats will be very, very bad though, Fatty. So it's my 4 and 5 defense. Very close. But I do like the Colts more. Allen is out. Deontay Jones, he's a fine replacement. He's been a top 24 receiver for 3 straight weeks. Nocturnal, as I said, I would go Mayfield over Tua myself, which is not what most people would do. And I would go, I think Puka of those options there. Warren or McBride in the flex, just join the pack. Hey, thanks, Jack. I would go McBride over Warren myself. Devonta Smith or Derrick Henry? I'm going to go Derrick Henry. Good matchup. That run D is abysmal for the Seahawks. Ayuk or Puka? I would go Ayuk very slightly figure report over Puka. Achane or Jonathan Taylor? I'm going to go JT there. Tina Simmons. Lions or Bears? Definitely the Bears for me, Daniel. Pick one. Ken Walker, Gibbs, or Chandler? I would go Gibbs there, Sergio, especially after last week. Cooking. Hurt or Purdy? I would go Jalen Hurts. No doubt about it. Great matchup against the Giants. And Nick wrapping us up with Mahomes or Stafford. I'm going to go Mahomes very slightly over Stafford. Wolfpack, what a great show. Thank you so much. On your way out, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up button to help your boy out. New names all around here. Please do consider subscribing. Would be so greatly appreciated to have you keep growing the Wolfpack for us. Would love to have so many new names. Hope to have you guys repeat and come back soon enough. All our content, including my rankings, are at rotostreetjournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves. rotostreetjournal.com. Check it on out. Would love to have you there. I go McBride over Walker, Brandon Soto in a full PPR league. In a Wolves for Fantasy Sheep, guys, be the wolf. Later.